I read so many stories where the prince saves the princess in the end.
Open the door. Open the door, Snow.
I think it's time we change that ending.
I think that every young girl out there imagines themselves as a princess. So every young girl already has kind of their own take on what a fairy tale princess is. And because of that aspect going into this role, I wasn't as much nervous of creating a princess that everyone thought was the perfect one. It was more creating a young girl that people could relate to. We really wanted to make her less of a caricature of a fairy tale princess and more of a real girl in these situations. And we wanted young girls to look at her and say, hey, she could be a friend of mine.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. When I first got the call that they were redoing Snow White, I didn't think, oh, that sounds interesting, until they said Tarsem was at the helm. I thought, well, that is worth investigating. You know, there were a couple of people that I did kind of steal some meanness from, happily. But, you know, the rest of it was just fun and imagination and Tarsem's crazy interpretation of stuff. It's important to know when you've been beaten. The first scene that I have with Lily Collins when I call her over like a puppy and ask if her bedroom is on fire, that scene was the most difficult. And I kept saying to Tarsem, God, I just feel terrible. I feel terrible doing this, slapping her, pulling her hair. You know, I did everything but poke her eye out. And he's like, God, you know, you're kind of a softie. I'm like, I'm not really. I feel terrible. We come around on Lily, and as he sets the camera up where I was and sees this little confection of a girl in this poofy dress and her big eyes and looking up at me, he goes, God, it's like being mean to Bambi. How have you done this all day? I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. It was just kind of agony, but she was a good team player. There was one time where I actually pulled a little hair out. That might have gone too far, but other than that, she was good.
She'd be mean to me during the scene, and we'd yell cut, and she'd be like apologetic and totally just back to being Julia and so sweet, and then on again, and it's like, all right, we're back in the scene, and she's mean. And then, you know, it was a great acting lesson also to see how you go from one emotion to the other so quickly. We were training for about 4 months before and during filming, and we were with all these, you know, huge professional stunt guys that this is what they do. So I was starting from the ground up, and there were bumps and bruises along the way, but they all made me feel really comfortable and confident. I did promise myself, though, I would never complain about wearing clothes again when you have to be doing these crazy action sequences in corsets. There's nothing like that.
This one will be easy.
I'm made of more than you think. I felt like my journey paralleled with Snow's during filming. I walked into the situation unsure, you know, what was gonna happen, and I ended up becoming a fighter physically and also emotionally, trying new things, opening myself up to spontaneity, and I learned a lot about myself as Lily as well as Snow learning about herself. If playing Snow helped me achieve that at the end of the film after 4 months, because every little girl and every woman and every grandmother has a little bit of Snow in them, I think that they also can leave feeling a little bit more excited and kind of open to life and love and self-confidence. You know, you don't always need the prince to save the princess. The princess can do it on her own.